A few of the reasons why Tom Segura is still liked by a lot of people is that even though he is massively successful and wealthy, he is still relatable and somehow humble sometimes. The perfect example was on the last episode of Two Bears, One Cave, where he got put on blast. That's right, he got exposed by none other than movie genius Quentin Tarantino. The video is a bit tough to watch because Tarantino was digging in deep and Tom was visibly uncomfortable. Tarantino was there to promote his new book that obviously Tom did not read. Tarantino was definitely not happy about that, and it made for a very interesting video. So I recommend you watch the entire thing because it's very interesting, and we'll talk about if he went too far or if it was Tom Segura's fault for being completely unprepared. So let's get started.
It's a real treat, and thank you for
my pleasure
for coming, and congrats on the book.
Oh, okay, you said you've been reading it for a little bit. All right, where are you up to now?
I don't know. You are talking about going to. You've started to go
the
to
opening chapter.
Yeah, but I didn't read it. I told you that.
I know. Boy, you were still listening to it.
I was listening to it. Yeah,
so you've listened to the half of the opening chapter.
I got
it. Where in the opening chapter did you arrive at? When you listened to it today for the first time, as you drove from your house to the studio today?
Not today.
When you pulled up today, where was that?
I swear to God, not today. And I'll tell you where I am. You're at the movies.
Okay,
that's where you're at in this one. You're somewhere at the movies.
Well, that narrows it down.
Well, somewhere.
Oh, when I'm watching the Jim Brown movie?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, that's it. The Jim Brown movie. Yeah,
it's about 19.
That's the ticket. That's
1970, something like that.
You're literally describing the first 3 pages.
Look, man, I only go by audio. I don't know what pages mean.
You are literally describing the first 3 pages.
Doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a genuine fan.
Okay, no, it doesn't.
And I asked good questions.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Doesn't mean that I'm not going to read this.
Exactly. Could have been a little bit more in depth on the manuscript that I'm here to talk about, but nevertheless.
Getting roasted by Quentin at the end of this thing.
Some people in the comments did think that it was a bit unprofessional for Tom to put himself in that position, especially with a guest that big whose life clearly revolves around films and movies and stories. And he was clearly there to talk about movies and his book. He is far from a comic like, Tom's friends who can just come and shoot the crap. And there was a few times where the joking around didn't go so well. That was very obvious if you watched the entire episode. Also, it is very well documented that Quentin Tarantino takes zero BS from anyone. There is video evidence of him snapping at multiple people, which is hilarious, and we'll play in a little bit. But in my opinion, I don't think this would have escalated to that point if Tom wouldn't have phrased the entire podcast, if he wouldn't have framed the entire podcast as if he had read the book, because he was clearly asking questions that only somebody that read the book would have asked, and he got called out.
Also want to point out you have a new book out, Cinema Speculation.
Right on.
I told you I've begun the audiobook. I think I might switch.
Exactly. Yeah, your stock went way down when you said that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Probably wasn't the really best way to say hello.
Sorry. I just wanted to let you know that I was actually consuming the material.
I appreciate that.
It was to like such a, I mean, this book is like a dive into your how I grew up. But I'm saying you're going to write more books. But you are going to do one more film?
Yeah, I got one more, yeah.
Written yet? Or
no, I haven't even thought about it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I just finished a book.
I know. I know. But that's so exciting that you're going to do one more.
Yeah.
And before we continue, if you can do me a huge favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. And we are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Here's the thing. A host not reading the guest book is not the end of the world because they are there to promote it and talk about it. That's like going to a late night show and getting mad that the host and the entire audience didn't read your book. You're there to talk about it. But I get it. Podcasts might be different. And there is a chance that Tarantino and Tom are very close friends. So that's why he felt comfortable doing him like that. Which leads me to the next question. Do you think Bert Kreischer would have done a better job with Tarantino? or not. I don't know how to feel about that one. I think it would have been interesting, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. But also, Tom should have known that he was going to get called out because, like I mentioned before, there are videos of Quentin Tarantino taking no BS, and they are pretty funny. So let's take a look at those.
What's going on here?
How's it going, man? How are you?
What's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on here? Put that down. What's going on here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Can you not talk to me?
It's just for the.
What are you doing?
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that again. Go.
For what?
Teach me. Go.
Oh,
go.
shut up.
Go for it. Go for it.
No, I ain't
Go.
gonna
Go for it.
No, I ain't gonna go for it.
Yeah. Go.
Tarantino was also on the Joe Rogan Experience and trashed Bruce Lee's family, so clearly he doesn't care. Now here's the thing, I don't believe Tom is completely on the wrong here, and this is why. Two Bears, One Cave was not originally meant to have guests on, have intellectuals, to have deep conversations with them like Joe Rogan's podcast. Instead, Two Bears, One Cave is obviously Bert and Tom just doing a comedy podcast, going off the rails, talking smack. And then now that, you know, Bert and Tom are living in different states, they have to do, you know, a guest bear podcast once a week, I believe, in order to keep the show running smoothly and not having to miss an episode. With that being said, again, having Tarantino on your podcast and not even reading his book, I think it's a bit lazy. I know that Tom has shared about how insane his schedule is, how he is doing a world tour and has impossible dates.
Oh, well, here's the absolute real truth of this. The tour that I have been on,
I'm coming everywhere.
yes, the I'm Coming Everywhere World Tour is literally, I'm talking logistically impossible to do this amount, these shows. If you look at the weeks and the amount of shows and the amount of cities, you could not. I would have to reduce the tour to do it commercially. It wouldn't be the same tour. It literally, you can't go. I'm doing Kansas City, Cheyenne, Eugene, Ottawa, Providence in a week. Like, you wouldn't be able to do it commercially. Like, the only way you can do that touring is to charter, because you're literally going from the show to the airport to fly to the city so that you're there. Like,
you can still find some time here and there to at least get through half of the book, even if it means starting the book a few weeks in advance. In my opinion, Tarantino is one of those guys where you can't really shoot the crap with them and try to make jokes. You can, but at the end of the day, he's a director. He makes movies, so he's very just serious. In my opinion, that was a pretty wild moment. It's not the end of the world, but it is fair for us to make fun of Tom Segura, I think, because, come on, if you are going to talk to Quentin Tarantino, you at the very least get through the first half of the book, right? Because he got called out on the spot. They still put out the video. They still put out the part of the podcast. Obviously, it would have been a low blow to Tarantino not to. So I believe they had to do it anyway. So what do you guys think? Was that an L for Tom Segura, or did Quentin Tarantino go too far? In my opinion, I think both of them are equally at fault. If anything, obviously Tom Segura is a little bit more at fault for being the host, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton if you haven't done so. And that's all we have for today. Dislike the video if you don't like it, but see you on the next one. Peace.